Welcome to Tea with Lilybet. In this video, I'll be sharing how I've leveled up my life in different areas, including my wardrobe. And I'll also be doing a follow-up on my last video and let you know which trench coat I decided to get. Since 2023, I've been on a mission to downsize, declutter, and simplify. One of my main goals has not only been to reduce my possessions, but also identify what's important to me at this stage in my life. A second goal has been to improve the quality of my things, or in other words, level up. Leveling up is a term that comes from the gaming world, moving up to the next level in that particular game. And a similar thing applies when you're talking about leveling up your life. It doesn't necessarily mean rejecting what you've had in the past and thinking that what you had in the past wasn't good enough. I'm actually incredibly grateful for everything that I've been given in my life and the life that I've lived up to this point. For me, it means identifying what I use on a regular basis and then trying to get the best quality version of those things that I can afford. And because I'm focusing on quality over quantity, it may mean owning less of those things. Leveling up doesn't necessarily mean buying designer or high-end things or spending huge amounts of money. In fact, sometimes inexpensive things can be extremely good quality and good value. Leveling up can also mean getting rid of things that you don't use. Even if they're really good quality items, if you don't use them regularly, they're just taking up real estate in your life and may even require effort to maintain. So it's better just to get rid of them. And by reducing your possessions, you're actually leveling up your space by creating a peaceful, uncluttered environment. There are also many intangible areas of our lives that we can level up in, including our thoughts, beliefs, values, habits, and relationships. But that's a whole other video. For the moment, I'm just going to be focusing on physical things. In terms of my possessions, I've leveled up in a number of areas in my life. My apartment is the biggest thing that I've upgraded. For those who've watched my channel for a while, you'll know that I used to live in a 2-bedroom ground floor unit, and it was quite an old unit that was built in the 80s with little renovation done. So it was really drafty. It needed to be gutted and refitted, painted. It had no central heating. So in many ways, it was a huge step up moving to this apartment. But one of the things that I had to sacrifice to get here was space. So I've leveled up the quality of the place that I'm living in, but I've reduced the size of the space. And of course, moving from renting to owning was a huge level up for me. I started improving the quality of my furniture when I was living back in my old place. I got a new bed frame and a bedside table, and that just brought up the whole level of my bedroom. But since I've moved into this place, I've also upgraded my sofa, my dining table, and my entertainment unit. My sofa was something that I wanted to replace for a long time, but I didn't want to do that until I moved into this place and understood the size that I would need and also the style and color of the sofa that would best suit this environment. It's much more comfortable. It's a much bigger and deeper sofa to sit in. The fabric is beautiful quality, and it just has an elegance that my old IKEA sofa didn't have. So I'm really enjoying the benefits of that now. Well over a year ago now, I changed over to 100% linen bed linen, and that's really improved how my bedroom looks and how my bed feels to get into every night. It feels really luxurious. Linen is very natural fabric and it breathes with my body. And I just find that I'm more comfortable sleeping in my bed each night with this quality bed linen. And I feel like my bedroom is now this beautiful sanctuary of peace and tranquility. My dinnerware is another area that I've also leveled up in. Around 9 years ago, I started to collect beautiful plateware. I started with the Wedgwood and the Dinnerware and Bosch, and I really enjoyed those sets. When I moved in here, I felt that those highly colored and patterned pieces didn't suit this space as well. So I decided to go for a much simpler design, which is why I ended up with the Italo Rami set. It's a beautiful porcelain white with a high gloss, and I've just been loving how it looks and feels in this space. If you want to see more about how I've decluttered my dinnerware, I'll leave a video on the screen for you now. If you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I got rid of about 80% of my clothes around 3 years ago. Over the last 10 years, I've gone through a number of life transitions, including getting really sick and then starting to recover and going back to studying And once I graduated from my course, I started working in my own business as a music therapist. And through those transitions, I found that my lifestyle has really changed and my clothing needs have also needed to be addressed. In the past, I've just bought what I've liked at the time. I've put very little, if any, planning into my wardrobe. So it was really exciting for me to start from scratch and create a curated wardrobe. Over the past few years, I've had a chance to use those new clothes in the real world. Some of them have worn out and need to be replaced, and others have not really worked out for me for different reasons, and I've had to declutter them. I now have a much better understanding of what I need on a daily basis. So at this point, I'm really ready to refine my style a little bit more and replace some of the items that have worn out with either similar or better quality pieces. My body's also changed a little bit in the last few years. I'm not quite as slim as I used to be. I used to love wearing fitted things. I don't really enjoy that as much. I like looser, more flowing clothing. So there are a number of items that I did get 3 years ago that don't fit in with how I feel right now. Some of the items that haven't worked out are those thinner silk items that I've been decluttering. Also, there's some fitted and crop things that I don't enjoy wearing as much. I've also moved away from high fashion towards a more classic style. So, what is my process for reviewing and refining my things? The first thing I like to do is to take stock of the items that I have that I use on a regular basis, and the ones that are of good quality I set aside for keeping. If I have an item that I do use regularly that's of lesser quality, I look for a better quality version of that thing. When I'm buying something new or replacing an item, I like to do extensive research online to determine what attributes I want in that item. If I can find it in store, I go and see it in person. But because I live in Australia, the things that I want are not always accessible in a physical store. Then I often like to do a proof of concept, which involves trying to find a lower cost version of that item or buying it secondhand so I can try it out and see if it really does suit me and that it fits in with my lifestyle. Or if I want to buy a set of something like dinnerware, I'll often try and get 1 or 2 pieces from that collection before I commit to buying more. For example, with the Italy dinnerware, I bought a pasta bowl and a mug from a local department store, and as soon as I got it in the house and started using it, I knew I wanted to get the whole Rami collection. When I receive an item, I inspect it really carefully to make sure it's very well made and will suit my purpose. If it's a fabric-based item, such as clothing, I check out how it washes, how it wears. Will it lose its shape or color? Does it peel really easily? Will stains come out of it? And how much effort will it require to maintain? Will it need to be dry cleaned, hand washed? Those are the sort of things that I want to understand before I buy any more of that brand. Once I've tested an item and I'm ready to commit, I look around for the very best price. For the most part, I do wait for sales to buy my things, but there are some exceptions to that rule, such as if it's an item that sells out really quickly or I need it urgently for some reason. But for the most part, I buy things at a discount. For example, with the Italy, they had a promotion going that if you were a first-time customer, you could get 20% off. So I bought almost everything at 80% of the retail price. For items that fail my proof of concept, if I'm not able to return them to the store that I bought them from, I'll try and sell them online, either on Facebook Marketplace or on eBay to recoup some of the costs. There are different ways to do proofs of concept. You don't always have to get the actual item. You can try and put something together at home to approximate what it might look like. For example, with a sofa, if you want to test out a particular color or type of fabric, you could buy a piece of fabric and lay it over the sofa to see if it suits the space. I actually did a proof of concept for my sofa. I used to have a gray cover on my old IKEA sofa, and before I bought my current sofa, I replaced the cover on the old one with a cream-colored cover. And that enabled me to test how a lighter color would go both in my old place and in this new one, and how it would match with my existing green rug. So that when I did come to buy my current one, I had a lot more confidence that a lighter style would suit the space. So what are the benefits of going with quality over quantity? In my view, the main advantage is that good quality items tend to last a lot longer, so you save time and money in the long run. You don't have to spend money on replacing items that wear out because they are poor quality, but also just the effort of trying to find something that you bought a year or two ago. Often it's sold out and you can't get access to it. So if you buy something that's better quality, that will last, you'll also save yourself the effort of having to hunt around and find it. Secondly, buying quality just adds to the enjoyment of your life, especially if you're someone like me who enjoys the little details and refinements of beautifully designed things. Thirdly, it's a beautiful way of showing self-care. With good quality clothing, it reduces your stress and boosts your confidence and just makes you feel more relaxed and comfortable in your own skin. And finally, the resale value can actually be quite good on nice quality things, and you may be able to make a little bit of money that you can put towards future purchases. For those of you who watched my last video and have been wondering which trench I decided on, I did really consider getting the beige Clyde because I absolutely love the style of it, but it just felt like it was too much fabric and it was too long for my frame, and I wasn't completely sure about the color. The majority of you loved the Scott, and I decided that that is the best one for me. And we'll see what happens in the future if I decide I want to get another style, like a MAC style. But for now, I'm thrilled to have the Scott trench, and I've already started using it, and it's just perfect for Melbourne and my lifestyle here. So thank you so much for all your thoughtful input. I'm absolutely delighted with the quality and the style of this trench. After I made my decision, I packed up the beige and the camel Clydes, and they're on their way back to Cezanne. All the work that I've put into curating my wardrobe really paid off on my recent trip to Sydney. It was so easy to plan my wardrobe for that trip, and choosing outfits each day was low effort, stress-free. I could just mix and match all of my clothing and I was ready to go. So are there any downsides to leveling up? Well, I think there are some things to consider. It actually takes quite a bit of effort to review and assess your things. When you need a particular item, sometimes it's easier just to get whatever is easily accessible, instead of having to hunt around and find that thing and then having to wait for it. As I mentioned earlier, I did buy some things that really didn't suit my body or my lifestyle, which I ended up having to declutter later. And I still have some things that I never should have bought. Thankfully, up to this point, I haven't bought hugely expensive items, but there were some costs that I could have saved myself. I feel like I've learned a lot through this process and I won't make those same mistakes again. Another downside of buying good quality things is that they might require a bit of maintenance. For example, they might need dry cleaning or hand washing. You might have to hang them out to be dried rather than put them in the dryer. You might want to protect your investment by getting special laundry detergent, which I've done for my linens and woolens. Leveling up in an area of your life is not a process that you should rush. It's important to take your time so that you really understand what your needs are and what sort of items will meet those needs. And like I did, you will have to try things out to see if they do work for you. But through going carefully and slowly, you will definitely make less mistakes, waste less money, and you won't put yourself under financial strain. And most of all, you'll end up with a much better result. At this point in my life, I try and stay focused on what will bring greater function, value, and enjoyment into my life, rather than wasting time and money on things that I really don't need, and to make sure that my purchases are practical and purposeful. Of course, I still get tempted sometimes to buy beautiful things, but if I do succumb to temptation, I usually come to my senses and return those items. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I have been leveling up my life in different areas. If you did appreciate this video, I'd love it if you gave it a thumbs up. It really does help my channel. And if you're new to Tea with Lilibet, I would love to welcome you as a subscriber. So thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.